Hello, guys. Try another way. What? It's my first time doing a live on Facebook, so I guess we'll see if anybody joins. I just did a live earlier on Instagram explaining Loot the Gov a little bit more. Had a little bit more sleep, so hopefully I'm a little bit more coherent in my understanding, or what I'm trying to communicate to you guys. Face looks like shit, still not sleeping, whatever. Anyways, okay, so Loot the Gov is a campaign that I'm doing that is inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement, because so many families have been basically robbed for years and years, and they don't have the wealth that they really should, honestly, because, their fathers have been taken from them, lots of reasons. But basically, there is a huge gap between the government and capitalism. So for all of these jewels that get repossessed, or somebody's house gets foreclosed on when they can't make the mortgage payments, it goes to the government or back to the bank. And they're not in the business of selling that stuff. That's not their job. So they just want to get rid of it. So they just get rid of it to the small group of people, the highest bidder, and a lot of money is being left on the table. A lot of money is being left on the table in the government's hands. And I think, it's not a malicious thing, it's an ignorance thing. They don't know the damage they're causing, I think, because I think that it came from a place of, we're going to give back to the community, we'll just, capitalism, whatever. But it's the difference between like a street merchant selling something versus somebody on Sotheby's, or, selling an art piece on Sotheby's. You're gonna have a lot more eyes on it. You're gonna have a lot more value, interpretation, history, all that. There's a lot more that goes behind it. And when you sell something at government auction, you don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about it. They don't care. They don't fucking care at all. And they're not, like, most of the pictures of the jewelry that I bought was literally like from a phone like that. I shit you not. Like, it was ridiculous. But, so that's kind of what I'm trying to tell you guys, to show you guys that there's a giant gap in the value of our possessions as a nation, and what the government is doing with them, basically. And I want to fix that. And I don't want to just pass the buck again, because I've done the research, and I want to make sure it's done right. So that's kind of why I'm like putting myself in front of it, and because people need a leader right now. Our leaders are not being good leaders right now, and we need to change. Something needs to change. Something needs to happen. And this is a global thing, if you think about it as well, because all of these jewels and diamonds and like the real estate, everything, it's all America's money, where we spent all of our money over years and years and years, because of everything that we bring in and all the work that we bring in, whatever, all that we do, jewelry from all over the world. But to just auction it off to the highest bidder, you leave, jewelry, tens of thousands of dollars on the table, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table, and you might be thinking that, oh, I could do that myself, and, I'll make myself a pretty penny and whatever. But as a society, that is the problem we have right now. Everybody is thinking for them, like, just every man for himself, and that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And I'm a hermit, guys. Like, I like to chill at home by myself, but you have to embrace your community, because it takes a village. And trust me, you don't want to do everything yourself and by yourself. Like, that sucks. That's exhausting. It's tiring. Let people have their jobs. Like, everybody needs their jobs. And their passions. That's why we have different interests, okay? Like, you don't have to do everything yourself. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to get at is that the gap between capitalism and the government is there, and it's massive. And I don't know how we haven't seen it before, but I see it, and I'm trying to get you to see it. And the loot the gov, the value's already there. I don't need your money. What I need is your voice. Your voice is way more valuable. And that's why I ask for you to sign up and give $1, because I'm just trying to bring attention to this. And it's part of the Black Lives Matter movement, because think about how many people don't have houses or are already struggling, living in poverty, you know, like, because their family has been fucking ripped apart by the system being incentivized, making money by keeping these prisoners in jail. Sum it up, 13th, they basically went from slavery to putting black people in jail to use as free labor. But they're actually more expensive if you think about it, because you have to pay for, you know, the housing, the food, and all that, when you have Mexicans who are willing to come over and work and, you know, take care of themselves. So think about that. There's so many things I have to say and to touch on, but, you know, we're going to take it one bite at a time. But I think the Black Lives Matter, I'm trying to get you guys to realize how many, like, houses are just sitting empty throughout this whole country, just fucking rotting, and also being sold for, like, nothing because it's cash only. So there's a high barrier to entry. You know, with a normal house, you can finance it and make payments. Who has $800,000 laying around? Not a lot of people. And that's what the auction, you know, things are. So like that mansion I mentioned in Venice Beach, LA, that is worth $2.6 million. It's not like being sold for $2.6 million. It's only being sold for like $800,000 cash, because that's what like the loan left on it is. So like that's all they give a fuck about. And it is not the government's job to do the advertising and the marketing, and we don't want it to be. We don't want it to be. We want it to be, there needs to be a connection somewhere there. And you know what? Like, I'm good. And I want to help others be good. I want to have fun with everyone. Like, so, and I know it's really hard for people to wrap their head around. They're like, what? No, there's an ulterior motive or whatever. And it's just like, no, stop thinking that way. Stop thinking every man for himself and start seeing each other as a community. Because that's what we are. Online, in real world, this whole world is connected. Like I said, we built the Tower of Babel. We are all connected. And everything is cyclical. Everything. So, yeah. Please consider signing up. You know, the minimum donation is $1. I just really want your name on there, because I think, and these houses that are empty can be used for shelters. You know, there's mansions here in Denver that could house the hundreds of people sleeping in tents outside, and these properties sit for a long period of time because it's cash only. So we're going to move a lot of shit along, and we're going to help a lot of people really fucking quickly, is what I've been trying to say. And I know that, like, everybody, there's also a thing about, like, the used diamonds being cheap and shit, because De Beers spent 100 years convincing you that brand new diamonds were the thing, you know, the best thing ever. And they are, but it's been 100 years. So things need to change now. And personally, I think everybody should have a fucking diamond, or, you know, like, give it to your friend who you love forever, and not just like your husband or wife. And I, like, you know, I want to give my mom pretty rocks and whatever. Anyways, they're just nice things, and they make you feel good, and they make you be you know, whatever. They mean so much. They mean a lot. They mean more than I can say right now. But So the value, the intrinsic value of jewelry and cars and houses that get repossessed by the government are being sold for pennies. And that money is being robbed from you, from us, from the taxpayers. That money could be going to everything, you know, rather than being taken from our taxes. Like the government has the money, they just don't see it. They don't see it. And I want to help them see it. I want to help them capture it, take advantage of it, and use it for good. So that's what I'm doing. You can check out my other videos that I have posted already on Instagram Live. I'm mostly posting them all on YouTube. But does anybody have any questions right now? Because I think I think I said everything I wanted to say today. Like I said, taking it slow. There's a lot to, there's a lot going on up here, but I want to help. I really do. And I've been in my own personal hell. I mean, you can see my face. Like, my body is not happy right now, and I'm not sleeping. And, you know, I just read that fucking Nigeria's lockdown has, like, tripled rape cases, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, you guys, we need to stop hurting each other. We are all the same. Like, it's ridiculous. Also, we need to fucking research acid, because the psychological benefits are mind-blowing. Like, I've done a lot of acid during this quarantine, and let me tell you, I have learned so much. I have wrapped my head around so much. It makes connections. So, you know, traveling is also the same, taking a trip, because your brain makes new neuron connections when you have new experiences. You're like, what is this? How do I figure this? So your brain literally is like building connections to figure it all out. The same thing happens when you do hallucinogenic drugs, which they basically put a giant roadblock in front of a long time ago of research. So that's, you know, we're scared of what we don't know. Humans are terrified of what we don't know, like immediately. We're like, what the fuck is that? So we need to do more research on it, but Steve Jobs, Einstein, watch the, you know, Have a Good Trip on Carrie Fisher on Netflix. It's amazing, but I can't explain it to you, but you realize that there is another level, there's more frequencies than we can realize of the potential we have as a community. But everyone is so fend for themselves, span for themselves. And guess what? We're all gonna be fucking sad and alone and hungry and poor, like we are right now, if you keep that mindset. So let's build a better future, please, because I'm over it. And I want to help. I'm here to help. I've got it all up here. Just, you know, anyways. Any questions? I don't see any. Maybe I'm not looking in the right place. Well, okay, well, let me know. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to breathe and just be nice to yourself and everybody. And just take a breath. You're human. We're human. We're not perfect, and we need to breathe. We're used to this social media, like, you know, constant instant gratification, and it's exhausting. I'm exhausted. I can't keep up. So I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way too. So just take a breath and let me know what you think. All right, I will continue. I'll probably do a live video later on Instagram, like 7 or something. Again, I'm just gonna keep doing live videos to try and elaborate more on what I'm doing, because I know it's a lot to wrap your head around, and also it's a lot for me to convey. So, okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.